Welcome to the implementation overview for the Year 4-5 using visual frames to improve children's confidence and ability to access the 2 to 3 mark inference questions. Here we'll help you to set up the evaluation. The first thing we ask you to do is identify a group of target learners. You then complete the pre-assessment test with all the learners, and then the What Worked Teachers platform will then randomly allocate them into the intervention and comparison group. The intervention group will receive this for the duration of the trial, and the comparison group will continue as normal. And then both groups will complete the post-assessment test, which is the same as the pre at the end of the evaluation. You will then generate an impact report from the platform, which will then show if it's had a positive impact. If the intervention has, then you can open this up to the comparison group. So planning. Let's look at a step-by-step approach to setting this up in your school. Step 1. Identify a group of learners to participate in the evaluation from the same year group or class. Step 2. Read through the inference teacher document guidance, suggested session structure, and download the resources. If required, you can use an AI prompt to create weekly text to support the intervention delivery. In Step 3. Complete the pre-assessment test with all learners. Record the marks in the Excel tracker located in the resource folder and input this into the pre-test on the trial wizard. So moving on to Step 4. Using the trial wizard on the What Worked Teachers platform, you will randomly assign learners to the intervention and comparison group. Step 5. For the intervention group of students, they will receive at least a weekly targeted small group intervention to use the impression evidence quote framework in a guided reading session. The comparison group will continue with business as usual for the duration of the trial. Step 6. Complete the post-assessment test, which is the same as the pre, to both the intervention and the comparison group. Record the marks in the Excel tracker and then input the scores into the post-test on the trial wizard. You will then complete a short process evaluation survey and then click Analyze to generate your impact report. So the intervention is targeted at year 4 or 5 pupils. The intervention is delivered by a teaching assistant in small groups, and each session will take approximately 20 minutes. It will use the impression evidence quote. So in guided reading sessions, use the visual frame with the children to help structure their response to the inference questions, and this will be found in the resource folder. And the school that's developed this has shared the suggested session structure, which is used for the whole class of targeted intervention. Again, this is in the resource folder, which is 5 minutes reading, 5 to 10 minutes guided discussion modeling, 5 minutes to model writing answer in the frame, and then independent practice using a second question. So you'll find a tracking spreadsheet in the resource folder as well, which allows you to link an anonymized learner ID to a student in your class. And then finally, moving on to some key considerations. So logistical issues need to be considered before using a targeted literacy strategy as an intervention. So is there a suitable time of the day for the delivery? Is there a suitable location? The resources, have they been downloaded and printed if you're using them? And then will you link this to any rewards for participating students in the group? So logistical barriers are common in any intervention delivered in schools, so it's just important to consider these prior to starting. So the assessment, you'll find the assessment in the resource folder, and it's a task that's marked out of 15. Please record the score for each learner in the Excel tracker and input this onto the What Worked Teachers platform. For the post-assessment at the end of the trial, use the same assessment again that you used in the pre to retest and measure the impact of the intervention. As both groups are using the same assessment, the familiarity should not bias the results. So then just make sure you record the score for each learner in your Excel tracker and then input the scores into the What Worked Teachers platform. If you complete the assessment under test conditions, it can be completed by a teacher or teaching assistant. Make sure you print the assessment task and then record your scores on your tracking spreadsheet and then on the platform. So that's the end of your guidance for setting up the evaluation in your school. The next thing to do is to download your research protocol, your resource folder, and then start your trial wizard.